welcome to the battle of the 5-liter V8s, where I'm going to prove to you that you can have a whole lot of fun rocking out in an old 90s Mustang, but that it is in no way, in any way similar to a modern 5-liter V8. So since 2011, I've been hearing people say, hey, it's so awesome, it's great that the 5-liter V8 is back in the Mustang, as if it was the same engine. These two engines don't have anything in common. They are completely different. You know, to the right, we've got a pushrod engine, Ford's last 5-liter pushrod. It has fuel injection, but in no way is this cast iron block in any way similar to the cast aluminum block that we have on the 5-liter V8. And even just going from a 2011 5-liter to when they switched over for the 2018 5-liter, there's a world of difference. So I'm going to get into that in this video. I'm going to prove to you that you can have fun with a 5-liter 90s V8. I'm going to be doing all sorts of different little tests with it, exhaust, acceleration, talking about some modifications that you can do to make this 5-liter just a little bit more fun, a little faster, because out of the box, on paper, it only had 215 horsepower and 285 pound-feet of torque at 4,600 RPM. But hey, a lot suspect that it actually had more out of the box, and well, this one's modified. So we'll be having a little bit of fun with it throughout a series of videos. So stay tuned for Battle of the V8s, new versus old. So that's coming right up. So your 1994-95 5-liter high-output Mustang GT is, well, kind of like I'm dressed. It's not bad, it's just not quite the same as what we've got today. So it's like a great 80s rock ballad. You can have a whole lot of fun, you can rock out, you can put the pedal to the metal and have a great time, but it in no way is at all like the new 5-liter off the 2018 Mustang GT. So here we have the new 5-liter V8, and it's the Coyote engine, and boy is it ever different than the 1980s and 1990s V8s. So this V8 has a 12-to-1 compression ratio and a 7,500 RPM red line, making it extremely different than the old one. You also have cylinders that are plasma coated. That's a big deal. It's cutting edge technology. That's why you're getting the 7,500 RPM red line, which is absolutely incredible. A whole lot of fun if you're not too worried about the speed limit. And you know, the 1980s and 90s made some, you know, good V8s. They're like an 80s rock ballad. You can really rock out and have a great time. But I'll tell you, you know, how I'm dressed now, and this as a daily driver, is just a whole lot easier to live with for the day-to-day. You know, my 90s Mustang, if you've been following along, it's been having overheating issues. Now I've almost resolved them all, but you know, the two engines are night and day. So let's just start with this whole battle between old versus new. I'm convinced you can have a whole lot of fun with an old V8. Might not necessarily be the best and most comfortable daily driver. Hey, I don't hate how I was dressed before. I don't mind the styles and music from the 1980s, but I'm just a little bit more comfortable with this right here, and I'm a little bit more comfortable with how I'm dressed right now. I'm going to prove to you that the old 5-liter, while you can still have a whole lot of fun with it, it is in no way related to the new 5-liter that Ford is putting out. Heck, there's even a difference, and a pretty big one, from 2011 to 2018. So the 2018 5-liter, what does it have? How's it rocking? Well, I can tell you as a daily driver, it's a whole lot more comfortable, and of course, it's a whole lot more reliable. It's easier to live with. You know, I love a good 80s rock ballad. I don't mind a little bit of 80s clothing, but for the daily, I think, you know, I'd rather go with my usual more comfortable fitting clothing and more comfortable fitting vehicle. Now, I'm going to be proving to you in a series of videos that you can have a whole lot of fun with an old Mustang that doesn't cost you that much. You can even maybe even make a little bit of money with it at the end of having a good amount of fun. But what's special about the 2018? Well, I'll tell you what's special about the 2018. A whole lot. The 2018 5-liter Coyote engine, it's got a 12-to-1 compression ratio. It has a 7,500 RPM red line. Now that is a whole lot of fun. And you know, beyond the 7,500 RPM red line, let's say you're not someone that likes to rock out quite that hard, don't worry, it's still a whole lot of fun at low RPM. It's got a whole lot of torque, 420 pound-feet of torque to be precise, making that at around 4,250 revolutions per minute of the engine. And it's a 460 horsepower engine. Now, you'd think all that power would make this less of a daily driver than a 1980s or 1990s 5-liter, but it's actually putting down power in a very smooth way. There's a lot of technology going on behind me. You've got, in regards to injection, you've got port injection being mixed in with direct fuel injection. Now, the direct injection is the best system. It's the most advanced, technologically advanced system, but it's not perfect. While you're going to be burning more fuel to get, you know, a little bit more power, a little more fuel efficiency, it's a bit of a dirty process, creating carbon buildup. So Ford had to go with, well, chose to go with really, a second injection system. So they're using port injection the way you would back on a 1980s or 1990s V8. And let's not forget, a huge part of what makes this V8 really special is the dual overhead camshaft, which has a variable position camshaft. What that means is that your camshaft, your dual overhead camshafts, the positioning of that whole setup can switch. So you can have the best of both worlds. You can have a V8 that's both very fuel efficient, and, you know, I'm doing about 21, 22 miles per gallon, 10.5 to 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So I'm getting fantastic fuel efficiency, but in the blink of an eye, you press down on that pedal, and well, it's as if you just swapped cams, both of them, and you're in for one heck of a ride. So it's the best of both worlds. You get to rock out with some old V8, and you also get to have some fuel efficient fun that people are looking for these days. Now, let's go to that exhaust test right now. So let me know in the comments section if you think you could have a blast or rock out with a 94 Mustang. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Now, I know I really like and enjoy this 94 Mustang. It's a little less refined, it's a little rough. I have to give it a little gas at the lights because it's pretty heavily cammed. So it has a camshaft, it has an air intake, it has headers, and it has an exhaust all the way out with what we could call kind of mufflers. They're high flow mufflers. They're race mufflers, so they're not exactly fully legal, but they do the job. Now, Ford originally said that this motor produced 215 horsepower and 285 pound-feet of torque at relatively low RPM. So it was a decent engine, but people since then have dynoed them, and it turns out that out of the box, it's almost guaranteed that the vehicle is actually producing more than 215 horsepower. Now, this was in the last years of the pushrod small block V8. So after 1995, Ford has never gone back to a small block pushrod. Now, they do have a pushrod engine in their Super Duties now, but that's for a different day and a different story. But this 5-liter is a high output. It really, a lot of what Ford had learned from the 1993 Cobra and Cobra R Mustangs, they put into this engine. So when you look at it just on paper, a lot of people have written this one off. Like a great 80s rock song, some people have forgotten about them and just figured, hey, it's in the past, let's forget about it and move on. But I'm not willing to do that because these Mustangs are not expensive. They're a blast, so you should get one while you still can at an affordable price, because 80s Mustangs have skyrocketed in price. And heck, I remember when, and this was quite some time ago, but I do remember being able to buy a Mach 1 72 Mustang yellow with black stripes for only $8,000. Now that was about 15 years ago, and boy do I ever regret not buying that and just throwing it into a garage. But hey, I was paying for some schooling. What can you do? What you can do is learn from the past, learn from your mistakes, and I think these are hot cars to pick up if you're looking to pick something up, have fun, have it be really inexpensive, and have its value go up. So let me know in the comments section, will a 94, 95 Mustang ever go up in value? Is it going to be collectible? And what do you think of the sound coming off this Mustang? Stay tuned. I wish you all more cars and more power, and I hope this week you get to put the pedal to the metal. So thank you very much for watching this very rock-inspired 5-liter battle between old versus new. And if you want to help out, please like and subscribe. It helps feed a poodle because, well, Winston doesn't feed himself. He doesn't make money, so somebody's got to do it. And hopefully this channel will someday make some money. So thank you very much for watching. Now coming up, you will have all sorts of 5-liter battles between these two great engines, and you'll get to find out what's best for you. Should you go with an expensive new V8, or can you really be happy with an old V8? In other words, can you rock out to an old V8? Well, stay tuned, like and subscribe to find out. There'll be more videos like this coming up. V8 comparisons. Now, in the meantime, I wish you all more cars and more power, and I really do hope that you get the chance to put the pedal to the metal this week. Have fun and enjoy.